Okay, this is going to be a really fun story to cover, but it's going to require a little bit of explanation and a little bit of wind-up because not everybody in this audience is on TikTok. So first, I want to welcome our guest. He goes by the term the older millennial. He has a wonderful TikTok that I've enjoyed. It's great to have him on the program at the new older millennial. Is that right? At the new older millennial. It must be a new account after he got banned or something. Is that right? I'm guessing.
Yes, that's correct. The new older millennial, account number 65.
Okay, well, you and I should chat about that offline. So we're going to now set the table here. So at Turning Point USA, we have these incredibly successful campus tours. Our audience is well aware of that. We're drawing thousands of people to them. The video interactions literally are seen billions and billions of times on social media. So enter the left. They see the impact that we're having. And a group of, let's just say trolls, to put it nicely, a circus act that mostly exist on TikTok, but a little bit on Instagram. They get very jealous that we're having this success at Turning Point USA. So they decide to launch their own counter to literally follow me around the country and stalk me as a way to try to troll and disrupt the event. They call themselves the Un-F America Tour. We're not going to use the term here because we are on radio and we would get a big fine. It is run by two young trolls by the name of Dean and Parker. If you don't know who they are, you are living a much greater life than I am because they're rather unenjoyable people. And so I've debated them both on Jubilee. Anyway, so they show up to Texas A&M. They get really upset because I didn't immediately call them up on stage, even though I invited them. I debated some of their other internet trolls, completely went viral, made them look terrible and bad. But here's the fun story. Why is this worthy of our time? Well, because their entire operation is now collapsed. Yeah, look how big of a crowd they drew in contrast to ours. And it's collapsed because of wokeism and DEI. And this is what's so important, everybody. So they put together kind of this pseudo super PAC that is now basically dissolved. They're all infighting. Why? Well, because their organizer was racist using microaggressions. Mr. Older Millennial, fill in the gaps here and talk as if people in the audience have no idea of the baseline facts here, and let's walk through this.
So you had it right off the bat, is that they basically just decided they were going to follow you around and basically try to ape off your success. And the entire event was just poorly planned from the beginning because, one, they didn't reserve anything, they didn't set it up, and they brought 52 creators for a 4-hour talk, just wasting money like that. But they showed up, and obviously they got very upset that they didn't get to move to the front of the line. They were reminded very quickly of their lack of importance to most people in the world. And they went and set up on the far side of campus where, funnily enough, the sprinklers went off and they had to pay to get them shut off, which is beyond hilarious. But they had their little event. And what happened is before the event happened, there had been some accusations of microaggressions against the creators of color. And so whether it was the minority creators said that they were microaggressed because they weren't given extra security, which is what they felt they needed when they went to Texas, and they weren't given enough say. There was no minorities as headliners, and that's what they accused. They accused her deeply of racism. The bigger creators, Dean and Parker, they just ignored that it was happening so they could have their event, and it's currently all coming crashing down around them. And add to that the fact they managed to spend their entire $115,000 on a single event. So the entire thing is falling apart for them.
And I hope everyone understands. So this was supposed to be the big DNC's counter to Turning Point USA, right? Turning Point is succeeding. We are drawing huge crowds. We're moving young people substantially. We are the premier outreach organization that is doing this. It's not a Charlie Kirk thing. It's top to bottom. Our team deserves the credit. It is a mass movement. And so what is collapsing them? Because I get asked the question all the time, well, Charlie, what is DEI in practice? Everybody, their organization is now collapsing because some organizer by the name of Z, a Bernie Sanders former staffer, microaggressed the black women. By saying what? She said, well, this was really disorganized and you people have to do better. I kid you not. They are now in a civil war that is in front of millions of people because they can't run a simple operation. They are a victim of their own ideology. And is this not a great example of how wokeism can never build anything? About how when you live under DEI, you immediately collapse. And these people's feed, literally on TikTok, which is being seen by millions of people, is legit only on F America infighting, a complete implosion for 1 week. I thought that, hey, I to my credit, I said to the team, I said, guys, this is not going to last because wokeism cannot run anything. You cannot run a church. You cannot run a company. This principle, you cannot run anything. And my team is in the chat saying that we called it, and their influencer page has been taken down. Is this not a great example of a bunch of left-wing young influencers trying to win young people, talking about how great woke is, and then woke destroys their own operation?
Well, that's the beauty of it, is that you have, I mean, I made a TikTok about it where I said that if you get together so many people that are focused on being victims, that is the basis of their content, and you get them all together, they're going to have a victim Olympics. They're going to see who can be the biggest victim. Exactly. And turns out they're really good at it.
They're experts in it. So now I want to play this piece of tape here. So if you don't know Parker, again, congratulations, you're about to meet him. This guy interrupts you every 3 seconds. He has such a sense of entitlement. However, I have finally found a way to get Parker to not interrupt you. Have a black woman talk about microaggressions for a minute straight, and that shuts up Parker. Look at this like beta guy who's like the leader of the insurgency. Sit down and shut up because a black woman is talking. Mind you, he interrupts you all the time. Play cut 372.
Z came in a live full of a bunch of black women. And the first thing she did when she came on there was to say, I know you guys aren't educated on, like, clearly they're speaking about politics. They know what they're talking about. So what makes you feel like they don't, like, for you to say they're uneducated? One, that was the first microaggression. Two, he was very hard on seeing you people. And whenever somebody says you people, it's just, you just know where it's coming from. Like, you just know, as if like they were being aggressive. And then she started bringing up BIPOC people that were part of the tour. And then she said behind the scenes, like they're not the face of the tour. They're just working behind the scenes like some workmen.
What did we just listen to? I mean, this is the Democrat Party. This is Parker being silent, getting dressed down in front of thousands of people saying, these are microaggressions and we win the oppression Olympics.
And the worst part is it's wild because I'm used to seeing them take what we say out of context. I'm used to seeing them take what you say out of context. And it's fun to watch them do it to each other, because what she just said, Z didn't say. Like, I will never defend that woman. I hope her entire pack fails. I hope their entire movement fails. But she didn't say that. What she did was she came on and told them, hey, many of you may not be experienced in organizing. And that's all she said. And this is honestly the first time I've ever seen the you people thing actually enforced in like real life, of somebody hearing you people and being, I guess, microaggressed. I don't know how many microaggressions it takes to equal an actual aggression. So, but it is fun to watch. Like, they're taking their own people out of context and doing it in a public forum, which is beyond insanity for their movement.
And now, Dean and Parker, they have to issue these apologies. Talk about the apology tour talk about how now they have to grovel to their audiences saying, well, I just want to say I'm sorry because I knew that she was racist. She wasn't racist, for the record. There's nothing she did that was racist. Like, she literally was just like, okay, you guys aren't that, experienced in organizing. And these left-wing content influencers are now creating this mob. This is the woke mob that we stopped in November. Everybody, Donald Trump stopped this like herd of narcissists from taking over the United States government. I want to play this right now. Also, they're questioning, where is the money going? Play cut 381.
So you're telling me that the $100,000 that was actually raised by our communities is all gone, and you used it on the event at Texas A&M? Over $100,000. She was like, yep. At that point, I was completely done. But some smart black women jumped in. Erica jumped in and said, hey, Z, We need receipts.
Now, we have 1 minute remaining. Just to be clear, that was the entire operating budget of Turning Point USA for the first year, $100,000. Where did all this money go? They have $100,000 for a campus stop for some makeshift operation with not even a microphone that works and sprinklers that are on them. What's going on here?
Well, the wildest part is you look at it, they flew in 52 creators from all over the country. They rented each of them a car. They didn't provide transportation. They just rented them cars. They put them up in hotel rooms for extended periods of time, even though they were only there to talk for 4 hours. This is what I can hope is that this is emblematic of Democrat organizing.
Yes,
because, I mean, this is why Kamala Harris had $2 billion and somehow managed to spend.
Great point.
Outspend
That's a great point. What do Andrea Bocelli, Steph Curry, Justin Bieber, and Tim Tebow have in common? All of their mothers were encouraged to end their pregnancies. When a woman faces an unplanned pregnancy, she is often pressured to end her child's life. She wants to make the right choice, but society and those around her are telling her that her baby is not a life. That's where the Ministry of Preborn steps in. Preborn and their network of clinics offers compassionate, loving care to mothers and the support they need to help them choose life, including a free ultrasound. Once a mother hears their child's beautiful heartbeat, she is twice as likely to choose life. If you consider yourself pro-life, it's time to join forces with Preborn. I'm a donor, and you should be too. Together, we can empower women to choose life, empower the truth of motherhood, transforms families and futures. One ultrasound is just $28, and a $140 gift will help to rescue 5 babies. When you donate monthly, you'll receive stories and pictures of lives you helped to save. Please dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby, or visit preborn.com/Charlie. That is preborn.com/Charlie, sponsored by Preborn. I got to ask you, older millennial, you have a lot of success on TikTok. The liberals are increasingly not as viral on TikTok or dominant as they used to be. Can you comment on that?
Well, I honestly think, like, right now we're seeing the fact that TikTok does push liberals. It's coming back to bite them right now because we're watching their what is equivalent to, you know, a divorce proceeding or couples counseling on TikTok between them. But yeah, I mean, the benefit of the conservative community is that everybody knows that what we're talking about is what we actually want to talk about. Is when it comes to liberals, we have so much evidence of them being paid and being told what to say, but they know that when they talk to us, they know it's genuine because we couldn't get a dime out of the RNC if we tried. So, you know, they know they're getting the genuine thing from us. The problem is that we're only allowed to grow so far before we get taken down. You know, and that's why I'm super excited about the possibility of somebody new owning TikTok. You know, like Reed's proposal makes me very excited for the future.
Yeah, we need to get that sorted out for sure. Why do you think young people are gravitating to the right so much and are becoming more and more conservative?
Well, there's that old adage that says, you know, if you're not a liberal in your 20s, you don't have a heart, but if you're not a conservative in your 30s, you don't have a brain. The thing is that now reality is coming to these people a lot sooner. So it's happening, you know, reality is hitting people a lot younger, so they need to recognize the reality of the world. And liberal ideology doesn't do that. It acts like everything's going to be okay, and you can, you know, make everything good with flowery terms. We're conservatives. We recognize, it's going to take work, and I think a lot of people are coming to that decision sooner than they have in the past.
What do you see in your audience as to why young men especially are gravitating towards the conservative movement, and how Democrats are going to try to adapt or going to try to catch up?
Well, the other side says we're evil. I mean, young men are being told that they're evil, that being masculine is bad, that being assertive is bad, and that they're just bad people by dint of being a white young male. And, you know, when you get enough hatred from the other side, you're going to walk away from it. And there's really nothing that the left can do to recover it, because they don't have examples of masculinity. They don't have anything that a man can aspire to on their side. They have examples of young, whiny people.
Hold on. They can aspire to this. I got to interrupt you. This is the type of man that they can aspire to. Play cut 384.
Uh-oh.
So my first order of business is apologizing to the individuals that are watching this stream that are a member of the BIPOC community for not speaking out about this sooner. But I think one really big mistake I've made, one really bad thing I've done, something I need to hold myself accountable for, was not calling this out before we went boots on the ground in Texas. My internal justification was that, well, I have fans across the country that have already bought their plane tickets to go to Texas, and they're going to be there, and I want to make sure that I'm there for them. And in retrospect, I recognize that I did not handle the situation correctly, and that on its own was not valid.
Final thoughts, 1 minute remaining. That is their alpha male apologizing for racism that doesn't even exist. That's what they're delivering to the American people.
No, and that's the sad part, is that is the example of what a liberal man looks like these days. And I mean, and the sad thing is that if that's what you're aspiring to be, you're not going to inspire anyone.
And that is well said. Thank you so much, my friend. Talk to you soon. Hope to see you at one of our events upcoming. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll be there.
Email us, freedom@charliekirk.com, and subscribe to our podcast. They have that. We have Joe Rogan, we have Dana White, we have Theo Vaughn. I mean, just a little bit different than the left-wing influencer. We'll see many of you tomorrow in San Diego, University of California, San Diego. Looking forward to seeing you there. We finish our the most successful campus tour we've ever had, even more so than the fall. Bigger crowds, more energy than even during the campaign. It's hard to believe. We finish at University of California, San Diego. We finish at San Francisco State University. Then we go to Long Beach. And then we close at UC Riverside. Look forward to seeing you guys there. God bless. Keep fighting for freedom.